Purpose and welcome to my channel. Today I wanted to do another interesting video about the dinosaurs, Dinosaurs and Dragons. Yes, I found another archaeological study article about the research that's done at Stanford University. It's an older article, but I found it to be quite fascinating because I've been talking about some of the beliefs, the myths, the folklores and the stories that the indigenous aborigines and also, just ancient people globally, some of the stories that they shared on these mythical creatures that they oftentimes discuss in their writings and in some of the drawings on the walls and ancient texts that they left us. They mention these creatures, and oftentimes we pass them off as just being a figment of our imagination. But more science and research is starting to find out that a lot of the stuff, that some of the stuff, I wouldn't say, I'm not sure a lot, but quite a bit of the stuff that the ancients were writing about and talking about and the stories that they shared is actually coming up true. So in this study, they talked about the dinosaurs and the dragon. The reason why I wanted to touch on this is because I talked about the reptilians, and a lot of people believe that they are from another planet or from another dimension, and they affect us greatly because they feed off our energy, our lower energies. That's why they love to have fear, violence, and stress, because they feed off the energy. That's why they stir up a lot of chaos globally. But as far as the dragons are mentioned in many stories, and I often believe that the dragons sort of resemble the dinosaurs in many ways. And so I believe that I've read many stories saying that the dinosaurs are protectors or they're guarding something. And I just wanted to share this particular research because it seems to be turning up to be true, that there may be some truth to the stories, the mythical creatures that the ancients were discussing, that the dinosaurs may have been here the whole time. Yeah, but the title of this article is called Dinosaurs and Dragons. Oh my. By says Stanford fossil historian links dinosaur bones to mythical creatures. And this was published and written by Humanities at Stanford, and it was published in 2008. It's an older article, but yeah, it's definitely an older article, but we can still see what they have to say here. This picture is really neat. It's a picture of a dinosaur. This is a picture of the dinosaur right here that they feel resembles a lot, resembles the actual dragons that's mentioned in mythology. So, yeah, the paleontologists are the scientists that studies these, and they believe that they may be some truth to what the ancients have been telling us the whole time. It says many paleontologists, trying to pronounce it right today, believes there are connections between mythical dragons that ancient people believe in and the humans' discovery of dinosaur fossils. And it says here, this researcher, Adrian Mayer, a Stanford visiting scholar who researches both folklore and fossil, supports that theory, has written 2 books which explore those connections. So, so this is a researcher who studies these remains of these ancient animals. And so she's starting to show that there may be a link between the folklores and the fossils that are remained of these particular creatures. And y'all, before I continue, I wanted to make sure I let you all know that I've been trying to record this video. I've been having some connection issues. So I might have to halven this video if it doesn't go all the way through with recording. So it's going to probably be a part 2 to this video. But anyway, we'll get back to it. And so here's the picture. I'm going to probably use this as a thumbnail. And then it says here, the Children's Museum of Indianapolis, the largest Children's Museum in the U.S. needed an expert to help them link creatures of the imagination to real dinosaurs, fossils for a new exhibit they called the Mayor for her unique expertise. And I just find this interesting, this article fascinating because the more we realize that our ancients were actually telling, these things actually happened in the past, the more we can actually learn. And I believe that they shared these stories and these writings in the ancient texts in order to forewarn us about what's going to happen in the future. And if we are able to learn from the past, we can make better decisions for the future. And I think a lot of things that happened in the past we still don't know about because we oftentimes debunk things and say it's just a myth of a fragment of a person's imagination because we sometimes don't feel like it's enough physical evidence. But it says here, when the Children's Museum of Indianapolis, the largest children's museum in the museum in the U.S., needed an expert to help them link creatures of imagination to real dinosaurs, fossils for a new exhibit, they called on Mayer for her unique expertise. Then it says here, the new exhibit, Dragons Unearthed, features 66 million-year-old, first-of-the-kind dragon-like dinosaurs called the Dracosaurus. There's no denying that the Dracosaurus, long muzzle and spiky horns conjoined with visions of magical beasts, but the museum needed an expert to confirm that it wasn't a coincidence that Dracosaurus looked more like a dragon than a dinosaur. So I think this is very neat. So with this research, they had to find a scientist who was both knowledgeable on mythology and folklore, as well as the study of different dinosaurs to see if these particular remains are the actual animals that are found by the ancient people and everything. And then I'm not going to read this whole thing in this video. I'm going to break it up in parts. But it says, with extensive studies of ancient cultures, conceptions of fossils as evidence of dragons, Mayer expertise proved to be exactly what museum curators needed. Mayer was asked to share her thoughts on Dracosaurus, named Dracosaurus Howardsia, in honor of children's author J.K. Rowling. And for those who don't know, J.K. Rowling is the author of the Harry Potter series. She oftentimes has these dragons in her books. And it was just really popular among children, and it sparks the imagination of kids. And it's similar to the stories that are passed down by the ancients, the ancient Aboriginal people of the Americas, ancient people globally. These stories have been passed down. The Asians have stories about the dragon, especially the Chinese. So, yeah, and I bring this up because with the finding of these fossil evidence of dragons actually being real, these were not just imaginary creatures. It also shows that, it also relates to some of the findings that we're finding today of other animals, such as the giant squid. For centuries, many people thought that the giant squid was just a, made up creature that was the figment of imagination of many ancient people. But it baffled scientists when it stirred up and came up out of the depths of the abyss, when there was a major storms and different terrible cataclysmic storms and change in weather and environment due to global warming and pollution. It affected the earth globally, so a lot of the creatures that are found in the depths are actually coming up to land and washing shore. And there were some remains of a giant squid that washed up onto the beach. And for the first time ever, scientists had an actual remains with the flesh, some of the flesh still on. It wasn't fully decayed or anything, but they actually could see how the squid look and everything. They were able to research it and confirm that they do exist in the abyss, and that the ancient people were not lying. These stories that were passed down for centuries, for thousands of years, are showing that these creatures actually lived here. And so, just like the giant squid, there's a strong possibility that there are actual dragons. And really, the remains are actually showing that it's actually true that they did exist, and according to the study. And I'm going to read one more paragraph, and I'm going to put this at the end of part 1 of this video. And it says here, the shape of the dinosaur skull with its long muzzle, bizarre knobs, and horns surprised the scientists, she said. But the skull looks strangely familiar to anyone who has studied dragons. Dragosaurus has a remarkable resemblance to the dragons of ancient China and medieval Europe. Exactly. When you look at this picture up here, you see a strong resemblance. They do. I'm not sure if this is a baby dragon or this is a large scale of a dragon. I'm not sure, but they don't have a picture going into details about this image, but I'm assuming this is what it looks like, and it looks, in this picture, it looks just like a dragon. So, and we're gonna stop here for now. Let me see how much longer. Yeah, this is gonna be part 1 to this video. We're gonna stop right here, and I'm gonna do a part 2 to this video later, because I have to break it up into smaller parts because of the internet connection. Hopefully this records. But I would love to see what you all think. What do you think about this article about the dinosaurs? Do you think about the dragons? Do you think dragons are real? Do you think it's just a figment of people's imagination? Do you think that this scientific research, that their findings of the remains of this Dragonsaurus particular dinosaur, is this enough evidence that it did exist? But please like this video and thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe, and don't forget to check out my website at Purpose Counseling and Wellness Center. And till next time, family, love and peace. Bye-bye.